Okay, this is still from Southampton County, Virginia by Thomas C. Parramore. That's the source that I'm using. This is an in-depth study of the Nat Turner Rebellion. It was written in 1978. Now, informants who heard Nat giving a confession prior to or the night before Thomas Gray interviewed him said that he was induced to believe that he could succeed in conquering the county of Southampton as the white people did in the Revolution. So he saw himself as a revolutionary. And so he not only had revelations from God, but he felt as though he was a soldier in the war against evil, the war against slavery, and he saw a vision of black and white spirits fighting. So that's another vision of war, and it kind of mirrors the whole, war in heaven, where the 1/3 of the angels were cast out, but the psychological preparation for his rebellion actually began on May the 12th, 1828, when he was told that Christ had now laid down the yoke he had borne for the sins of men, and that Nat must take it on and fight against the serpent. So, again, the Holy Spirit is letting Nat know that there is an enemy, and the enemy is the serpent. And so the Holy Spirit let Nat know that the serpent had been loosened, and that the time was fast approaching when the first should be last and the last should be first. So this is battle. This is battle against evil, battle against the serpent that Nat is being. This is the revelation of white spirits against black spirits. The serpent being loosened. And it's important to realize that Nat didn't just indiscriminately kill all whites. The poor whites were left alive. And Nat actually told the slaves that they should be kept alive, the poor whites should be kept alive, because they thought no better of themselves than they did the Negro. So they were killing slave-owning whites. And that brings us to Genesis, where God said that he would put enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. Now, if you don't understand Genesis, I don't see how, well, you can't understand the rest of the Bible, because it's actually a genealogy. And if you don't take Jesus seriously when he says you are of your father the devil, and when he talks about the synagogue of Satan, and when he says that Cain is of that wicked one, if you don't take him seriously when he says that, then I don't see how the rest of the Bible can make sense. There's a serpent seed. The serpent seed does the will of the Father, which is Satan. And there's enmity. There's supposed to be enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. So there's an ongoing battle and an enmity between the serpent seed and the seed of the woman. And I think that the not taking literally, that statement not being taken literally, that there's enmity between two, seed lines, is what causes people to look at what Nat Turner did is horrific, and not realize that when you become 3/5 of a person, you're not human. You're cattle. You're an animal. People can strip you of your rights. You can be taken in slave ships to a place that you don't know about, and a lot of people died in those slave ships. But they weren't human beings anyway, to the people who were carrying them in those hard conditions. So, and a lot of people died in slavery. So these people were seen as not human, and I guess they were told to accept their position or wait on some divine intervention. And guess what? Divine intervention occurred. But it's important to realize that even after Nat Turner's death, the seed of the serpent was still working to destroy, just as Jesus Christ's story has been turned into mythology. Nat Turner's story was turned into mythology by William Styron, who turned him into a homosexual who lusted after white women, and gave it the same title as Thomas Gray's Interview. So people, even though it's considered fiction, would pick up that book and think it was nonfiction. So what will be the purpose between turning a black revolutionary into a homosexual who lusts after white women? To destroy him, even in death, to destroy the memory of Nat Turner. And that is the ruthlessness of the serpent seed, and the will of their father, Satan, they will do. And so it's important to realize that there is enmity between those who fight against evil and those who willingly do evil. And God was not willing to allow slavery to continue on the terms of the evil, because evil, serpent seed evil, in large numbers is not going to change. You have to change it by fear, and that's what Nat Turner set out to do, to strike fear in the hearts of those who only had self-preservation in mind, because the serpent seed is psychopathic and can only think of preserving its own life. So in working within the mindset of the serpent seed, the loosened serpent was checked and controlled. But again, serpent seed and seed of the woman is very important in realizing this ongoing battle between those who want liberty and justice and, peace, and those who only want to exploit, who are predators, and who will take advantage of people until there is a violent uprising, and then they'll try to destroy the image of a person after they're dead. So, there was a ruthlessness then and there's a ruthlessness now. And the serpent seed still works within the world. And Jesus Christ warned of the serpent seed when he came. And Nat Turner was warned by the Holy Spirit that the serpent was loosened. And the serpent only has, one goal in mind: to kill, steal, and destroy. And this is a battle. And if you don't realize that, then you'll think that, you're to love your enemy at all costs.